You hear me?
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
Now everything's set up. Okay, great.
Cool.
Yeah, hold on. Let me start.
Hey,
There we go.
Okay, there you great. Are. I figure I'm going to ask you about your favorite replacement players.
Oh, great. Okay.
Going to ask you if we should start doing replacement coaches. And
that's great.
Similar vein. I'm waiting. I like to print my notes. I have to have printed notes.
Yeah.
And right now my printer's my computer's not. It's going really slow, and now I'm like I could write these notes down because they're literally I have 10 things. Like I have nothing. I have nothing prepared. I guess talk about Klay Thompson's return.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Whatever. Do you have anything fun that you feel like yeah. Peyton too. I don't know.
I was I did my. It's funny that my father has. I don't know that it's like every time I give him like a gift, it's always like an athletic subscription or
we can talk about gifts. Yeah.
But he's now like yesterday he wanted to talk to me about like prospects for the 2023 draft.
Oh, this is
I don't know where that came from. Yeah,
I'll ask you if you got anything good for Christmas, and then you can.
Oh, great!
If you want to go into that, if you want to segue, and I'll ask you about your breakfast.
Oh, great. Okay.
And then I'm going to play a game with you, about replacement players.
Great.
About how no one knows who these people are.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you don't know who these people are. I mean,
I'm sure I don't know who these people are. Yeah.
But now I have to find where's my box score I was looking at that was cracking me up. I'm a mess. Oh, the box score I just opened had like first initials for names. That's not going to help me at all. That's not going to help me in the least.
That's not
going to be the game. Oh, come on. Got to go to NBA.com for everything.
Jeez.
Why is NBA.com has all the good info, but it sucks.
Uh-huh.
It ruins. It doesn't work in any browser.
No, it's
have to reset your cookies and erase your cache like every few weeks to get it to work. But then every other website just doesn't have the information it just doesn't.
Right.
They've shortened it. All right, here we go. Let's record a podcast. Make sure I'm recording everywhere. All right. I'm joined right now by Sean Keane from the delightful Round Ball Rock podcast. Sean, how's it going?
It's not bad. How are you doing, Keith?
Oh, I'm doing great. You having a good Christmas season and all that? Everything going well for you?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I got little nephews now, so that makes it a lot more fun when it's just not just greedy adults drinking. It's like people who have a sense of wonder. Yeah, it was great.
I have relatives. I'm not gonna say who they are. Who apparently they were told by the patriarch and matriarch of their family group. They're like, hey, you guys, we're not going to sit around and drink the whole time this year. And that really bummed me. It really bummed a lot of the people out. Like, what are we even doing? Oh man. No, it is fun. So I have a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old. And also I have a lot of nieces and nephews. And it was fun. Like buying presents for kids is more fun.
Yeah.
I also like buying presents for myself. But I do not like buying presents for other adults because I'm terrible at it. I just they would tell you what you want. Just tell me what you want. I'm not thoughtful. My wife is thoughtful. She bought me, as I mentioned on the last episode, a gigantic D'Anthony Melton shirt, a comically large D'Anthony Melton shirt. What a wonderful gift! It made me so happy. Great. Are you a good gift giver or?
I am for children at least. Like for my dad, I just give him like online subscriptions. My dad, he just over the course of he's accumulated like an athletic, a defector, but it's it's gotten to the point where he's gotten too into basketball now, because yesterday he wanted my thoughts on who was going to go in the 2023 draft. And because he'd been watching the Ignite team's highlights on YouTube. And
whoa,
yeah, that's pretty intense. And my dad is very bummed out because the Ignite team does not play. Sorry, their facility is really close to where he lives. It's like maybe a 10-minute drive, but no one's allowed to go there except NBA scouts.
And
they play their games in Vegas.
Sean, you got to get him credentialed.
I know. I feel like I need to.
You say he's part of your podcast and then get credentialed.
That's all he wants to do.
I don't know if the Ignite or the G League is as hard as some. I mean, there's various gatekeepers at different levels of NBA things. Some teams are easier to work with than others. It seems like a G League game would be not hard to get credentialed for.
No. Well, what we have to do is I have to take him to Stockton. That's what to see where the Sacramento Kings affiliate team is.
That's amazing.
It's a little closer than Santa Cruz.
Is he disappointed that you cannot give him draft analysis for the 2023 draft? Like, have you let him down?
I have, because there's a guy on Ignite who is not draft eligible.
Scoot,
this
right?
year. Scoot, yeah. So that's
Scoot
who he's
Henderson.
been talking
Great
to.
name, only because his name is. I know who he is.
Yeah, his name is Scoot, and that's who his guy has been, and he's like, I think this guy's can't miss, Sean. He also thinks James Wiseman is can't miss, so
Oh man, also I can't remember the names of the Golden State color commentators, like the TV announcing team. They were like really going off last game. They went in this real deep long. Is it Richard Jefferson? Is he doing it?
It's for the Warriors.
Yeah, for the Warriors.
Kalena Azubuike.
Oh, it's Kalena Azubuike. Okay.
Yeah.
And so it's him and the play-by-play guy. We're just going on this long thing about how unstoppable the Warriors are. Yeah. It was this funny thing. He's like, who's going to guard the Warriors when Klay Thompson's back? And then just imagine you had James Wiseman to the dunker spot. I'm like, that's not helping, dude. Like you just subtracted. You just subtracted a thing. They also were saying this while Nikola Jokic was scoring over 4 Warriors. They were like, the Warriors are going to be unguardable. And Jokic throws in a hook shot over 4 guys.
Yeah, they were pretty guardable with James Wiseman last year. I have to say, these guys were watching that team. And they have Gary Payton too, who's their backup point guard, who also plays offensively as a center.
He rules, though.
He's great.
Yeah.
He's in the dunker spot. That's
it's going to be a downgrade offensively from Gary Payton to James Wiseman. No, going back to your dad being disappointed.
Yeah.
My brother is similar. Where like my brother watches the NBA. He also still watches a lot of college, and he keeps texting me because our team we were fans of Auburn growing up. Just randomly, that was like our college team. Okay, and Auburn has a bunch of like they've got one of the top guys in the draft this year. I believe Jabari Smith is his name. They also have another guy who got a triple-double with blocks in a game on Wednesday night against LSU. It was like his big game. And he's like, hey, have you watched the Auburn game? And I'm like, I don't watch college basketball. Right. And he's like, and he keeps sending me this stuff of like, hey, these guys are supposed to be like high in the draft. And it's like, I believe you. I don't have time to also watch college basketball. I watch the NBA every single night. And he's like, man, this guy is amazing. And then he sent me a thing that was like a list of all the NBA teams that sent scouts to this Auburn LSU game. And I was like, I understand there are NBA prospects in this game. I just can't add that. I can't add watching college basketball to watching the NBA every night.
I can watch the tournament. That's what I can watch.
I don't even do that. Like the last few years, I've been like, oh man, I'm gonna fill out a bracket, and then I get frustrated that I know nothing. I know nothing. And then I watch day one, and I'm like, you know what? There's no NBA game right now. I'm going to watch Netflix. This is my Netflix time. I'm not watching.
You actually get a break. It's vacation time.
I watched the first 15 minutes of March Madness, and I'm like, I'm not watching this. This is horrifying.
It's kind of crazy because the link between like relevant college basketball team and NBA draft prospect has never been weaker too.
Oh yeah.
We're just like, it doesn't matter. Anthony Edwards was on a terrible college team.
Right. Yeah. Ben Simmons. They said Ben Simmons, people were criticizing him in college, saying this guy has a terrible attitude. You wouldn't want to build your franchise around him. Well, it turns out. Whoops. Ben Simmons was on a team that didn't make the NCAA tournament. Why would you waste the number 1 pick on him? Oh, yeah.
He's used to not playing. He doesn't care. It doesn't bother him.
Yeah, he left LSU after 1 month. You can't have that. Oh, no. Oh, I've gone down a tangent. Sean, I haven't asked you about your breakfast. What's your, before we go any further, I gotta, you had any good breakfasts recently?
I've actually just had coffee today, but I made an incredibly elaborate breakfast Christmas morning where I made coffee cake. I made a hash brown and sausage and egg casserole thing. Yeah. And then I also made pancakes.
Wow. How many people was that for? Was that just one, I hope?
Yes, for what? No, we had
for Orson Welles.
Yeah, they had 10 people and 10 adults and a child.
Oh, okay.
And then there's a baby who ate like pancakes, and
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
really messy.
It's a very good breakfast. Going back to your Warriors. So the Warriors did lose to the Nuggets. When was that? Tuesday night. It was just the second game in the last 5 years where a team has won. This is the Nuggets won without scoring 30 points in the second half. They scored 29. They hung on for victory. I assume the Warriors are getting revenge. They play again, the rematch on Thursday night tonight.
Yeah, it should be fun. They've got a bunch of guys coming back from the COVID protocols who are immediately going to play at altitude. So that should be really fun.
I think so we see all these guys coming back from health and safety protocols, and some people you clear and then they're out for reconditioning.
Yes.
That just means they were real sick, right? If you're reconditioning, that means I'm just guessing. I'm inferring you were actually sick and you don't feel great to play.
Right. Because Steve Kerr made a comment that a lot of people were that everybody that's gotten COVID has had very mild symptoms. Like Andrew Wiggins did not appear to be affected at all when he came back, but also he was home. I think Jordan Poole has been out in part because he basically just had to stay in a hotel room for 10 days because they were on the road when he tested positive.
Oh, because you can't fly.
Yeah. So he was in Boston for like a week and a half. And I think he was just kind of like jogging in place in his room. Like, I don't know what the rules are, but I don't think he's allowed to.
He's not allowed to leave his room.
I think that's
he's got to get the Ben Golliver bubble book exercise routine where when Ben was like pacing back and forth in his room and all these people prison exercises to do.
Well, when that was Masai Ujiri used to wake up Kawhi Leonard every day without realizing it with his intense workouts.
The intense morning workout in the Coronado Springs top floor, shaking the whole building. What's the story with Klay? Isn't Klay soon? Klay Thompson supposed to be integrated?
Seems like it should be soon.
I thought they said it was supposed to be soon.
I mean, I had really thought that they were going to bring him back before Christmas, but I think maybe they realized that once they're going to bring him back at home, and I think they had wanted to do it when the Warriors had a big stretch of home games, so he could come back and it would be kind of laid back. But that's just they don't have an opportunity. The schedule is not telling you that Klay Thompson is going to be back for another 3 weeks. Like, he could be back in theory on the 3rd against the Heat. I just don't think they're going to do it because they go on the road right after that. And then they have something like a 7 or 8 game homestand halfway through January. So that's been my guess. I thought he was going to come back to play the Kings on the 20th. And once he missed that,
I thought Shams actually dropped. It was supposed to be the start of the year or right at New Year's or something.
They just keep, I mean, maybe it's that they're so unstoppable and that James Wiseman is coming back, but the Warriors announcers just terrible.
So they were insulting Jokic the whole game.
Oh, awful.
They were like, he's just got to improve his defense. He went on national TV and Draymond was an analyst and he said, I pointed out all the things that were wrong with Jokic's defense. And Jokic went to Draymond afterwards and said, thank you. And then they stopped the story there. They didn't finish the story where Draymond's like, and he's become a really good defender. He's changed a lot of things now. Good defender. They stopped the story halfway through with the conclusion of just Jokic is a bad defender.
And he's not at all. And in fact, ended that game by blocking a shot.
Yeah, so he won the game with the block shot. When Klay comes back, what is, as Warriors' dream goal, like what is the integration as far as like what lineups we're talking about? Is Jordan Poole losing a bunch of minutes? Is it a super, like, is Otto Porter losing minutes?
Oh, yeah.
Always Draymond at the 5. Mm-hmm. Steph at the 1, Draymond at the 5. It's still Wiggins and Klay. Are those are like your 3-4 somehow, like your wings? Like what's the dream lineup if Klay is to some degree back to whatever he used to be?
So I had kind of assumed that he was going to come back and be. Everyone's talking about him just going back to being a shooting guard. I would just think he's probably more of a 3 right now.
Oh, but I assume he can't guard any 2s. Ever, yeah, but again.
But at the same time, it seems like Wiggins can also just play shooting guard, and that's kind of his real position anyway. He's just tall. I don't know. Wiggins can't really rebound, especially. But no, I think if you're assuming Klay's back at like 80% Klay, I think they. Honestly, I don't know if this is a good idea anymore. I think they imagine their closing lineup is Curry and Klay, Wiggins and Iguodala, and Draymond Green. But he just can't really shoot or score anymore. He has flashes where, his defense is still pretty good, but he also can't play 2 games in a row or anything like that. So I actually think Otto Porter is the ideal 5th guy because he's actually a lot better on defense than I expected.
Yeah, I mean, if you have healthy Otto Porter, I would definitely think, like a Wiggins, Otto Porter, Klay Thompson seems like a pretty nice little sandwich with Klay and Draymond as the bread.
Yeah, I've now had to the player I have the most trouble adjusting to how good they are. Like Gary Payton 2 games into the season, I was just like, oh yeah, this guy's just people just didn't realize how good this guy was. Like that's a real player. But with Wiggins is now at this. He's been like consistent enough for a good year now, where it's kind of like, oh, this guy is an above average, reliable player now. Like he's not an all-star, but he's kind of like you could if for the first time you could see someone obnoxious on Twitter making a case for Andrew Wiggins being an all-star. Like it wouldn't be a successful case, but it's like to the point where people are going to start saying he's underrated again.
Yeah. No, I think Wiggins has definitely gotten that. I'm looking at these going back to Gary Payton too. I'm looking at this, the true death lineup. This is maybe cleaning the glass. The true death lineup.
Oh, excellent.
With Draymond at the 5, you got Wiggins and Otto Porter, Jordan Poole, and Gary Payton 2. So not even Steph. Gary Payton 2, Jordan Poole, Wiggins, Porter, Draymond Green, plus 42.5 points per 100%.
Well, I guess if they want to win, that's what they.
If that's what you want to do, if you want to win, you should do that. So speaking of shut it down, we had another game cancellation this week. The NBA had to postpone its 10th game. I'm still slightly confused when a game gets canceled and when a game doesn't get called off.
Right.
So like the Heat were playing the Spurs. We're supposed to be playing the Spurs.
Yeah.
The Heat kept ruling guys out because they did not want to play with a bunch of replacement players.
Right.
The NBA was like, no, you have to play. You have to hardship rule. You have to sign some players. The league, according to Woj, told the Heat to go sign 3 players from the Austin Spurs.
Yes.
They will meet you in San Antonio.
That's amazing.
You will give them, I assume, a reversible jersey with no name on it. Like, do they get pennies? It's like an intramural game. I want to know, like, do the Spurs people get the Heat, or is there a sewing kit, or is it just an iron on? But anyway, so the Heat were told you have to sign these 3 Austin Spurs players.
Yeah. And
then the Heat were like, oh, guess what? KZ Okpala's out too. They kept ruling extra guys out. I'm not saying the Heat broke any rules. It's not that they have a history of collusion and getting punished by the league for breaking the rules, but the Heat kept ruling their guys out, and finally it was like, fine, the game's canceled. The Hawks, on the other hand, have not been allowed to cancel these games. The Hawks right now have an NBA record 26 players on their roster. You're only
26.
You're only allowed to have 15 players and then 2 two-way guys.
Yeah.
In a normal
They've got 9. They have 9 replacements.
They have 26 players on their roster. I hope this is a record that never gets broken. Because like the I believe it's the I think it's the Mavericks have actually played 18 players this year, which is maybe a record. But the Hawks right now have 26 players. They were not allowed to cancel their game. They had to play the Bulls on Wednesday with a bunch of people no one's ever heard of playing heavy minutes. And like, I don't know the point. Again, like, what are we doing here?
It's so crazy. Like, I don't understand. I understood kind of pushing it to get the Christmas games in. Like that seems like it's a money game, and it also I don't know that people sit down and watch those Christmas games intently as much as they watch the end kind of intently.
Maybe.
And
so
there's a little bit of the for the Christmas games, at least, there's a little bit of like, it almost kind of doesn't matter who's there. Like you're half paying attention anyway. It's okay that Lance Stevenson's on the Hawks now. It's not weird. But now it's like, what are we doing? No one's really like, this is a dead time of the season. I'm
of two minds. One, it does seem really odd what the league is doing, like pushing through, just get anybody, just put a jersey on them, and these are the Hawks now. This is your Hawks team, and part of that is sort of fun. We're like, all right, unrelated to pandemic, it's kind of fun. Just suit up anybody. Hey, it's Trae Young and a bunch of dudes we don't know who they are.
Yeah.
And I guess them pushing through, like, so it's sort of fun, but then it's also it's obviously very, very weird. I'm trying to keep track of these players. We've already said, like, you and I aren't able to tell our relatives about the prospects who aren't yet in the NBA.
Right.
I'm gonna play a little game with you.
Okay.
This is a game I've done before on the show. It's usually done for summer league players.
Oh, great. Okay.
This game is going to be someone who played for the Hawks on Wednesday or a recurring character from the John Grisham fictional universe.
Oh, yes. Okay. Excellent.
Okay. All right. Let's start with Chandri Brown.
I think he played for the Hawks.
He did. He started for the Hawks. He started 2 games for the Hawks now. He plays a lot of minutes. How about Cameron Oliver?
I think he... I'm sorry. I think he was actually maybe on the Lakers a couple games.
Was he?
This year too?
Okay.
Sorry. Right. Who's the second guy?
Cameron Oliver.
I think Cameron Oliver has been on the Hawks.
Oh, well played. Well played.
Did he go to? He has a real, like, I don't think he actually went there, but this is like absolutely a UCLA basketball player from the 90s name.
Could be.
Yeah.
Cameron Oliver was 6 for 6 from the field.
Wow.
On Wednesday night. That is absolutely correct. How about Cat Barber?
I think Cat Barber's in the Grisham verse.
I'm sorry. No, Cat Barber played for the Hawks.
Oh my God.
Cat Barber played for the Hawks on Wednesday night. How about Sebastian Rudd?
Grisham. I'm going to say Grisham.
Yeah. That's a Grisham guy. I need to get his Grisham credentials. Hang on.
Okay. Do you think if your name's Cat Barber, are people like, did you think about pet grooming? Did you think?
Sebastian Rudd appears in the 2 Grisham books I've never heard of: Rogue Lawyer and Partners.
Well, I mean,
it's right here on this Grisham.
Rogue Lawyer is all of them.
Yeah, you would say. How about Theo Boone?
I think he's a Hawk.
No, Theo Boone is a child detective from John Grisham, who's in a bunch of like a series of child detective books.
Oh, that's incredible. Theo Boone.
I tricked. It appears first in 2010's Theodore Boone Kid Lawyer. It's a series.
He's a kid lawyer. I love it. Well, it's so funny how many lawyer books there are, and that almost every lawyer book is actually about somebody solving a mystery.
Yeah. Yeah. How about Denton Voiles?
What's his name?
Denton Voiles.
Oh, that's a Grisham. I think he's the death row guy in the chamber, maybe.
No, he's an FBI agent, but
he's
in the firm, the Pelican Brief, and the client. He's the head of the FBI in all those. All right, last one. Malcolm Hill.
boy. I think he's a Grisham.
No,
basketball and name.
No.
Oh, wow.
Malcolm Hill. Yeah.
Did they still have Solomon Hill?
He went 3 for Solomon Hill tore his hamstring earlier this year. He's out for the season.
Okay.
Malcolm Hill went 3 for 5 from 3, finished with 13 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 steals in 29 minutes.
Good for him.
He also does not have a picture on NBA.com.
Oh no.
He just has he has a black and white NBA logo. So yeah, good job there, Sean. I think you did pretty good on that.
Yeah, I mean,
on that spontaneous, all things considered.
Yeah,
now we have not even replacement players. We're doing replacement coaches. Doc Rivers is out, health and safety protocols. Hope he's back soon. The league's missing like 6 coaches, I think, right now.
Yeah.
Should there be a hardship where you can sign a replacement coach, and also who should be signed to be replacement coaches?
I mean, 100%. The Kings felt like they were doing that when they had Doug Christie, because Doug Christie was a broadcaster up until this season. So not like Doug Christie was a super prominent assistant coach. So as a casual Kings fan, it felt like he went right from the booth to the sidelines, which is fantastic.
It's great.
I think somebody needs to give George Karl a 10-day coaching deal.
He's had health issues. I don't want to throw him back into the. He's real old, right?
He's not as old as you'd think, but I mean, it's coached like about 70, as many games as anybody.
Not that old. You're right.
But he has that health. He's an active tweeter about the game for sure. I think I actually wouldn't want somebody to hire Becky Hammon to a 10-day, because it feels like that's
performative. You feel like,
Well, I just think like give her a real job,
Yeah,
like,
sure. Okay,
she'll be fine. I would like to see Magic Johnson get another shot at coaching.
Yes,
I think like for sure. Kevin McHale is maybe a little. Like somewhere near a MAGA rally for his wife, he'd do a great job there. I mean, look, I was very happy that Jason Kidd got another chance to bring his antics to the NBA for a team I don't particularly care for. That's like the ideal situation for me. Like, put him with Porzingis. That's great. That'll be he can work for Mark Cuban. So I mean, it would be kind of funny if somebody just hired Terry Stotts for a game when they were playing the Blazers.
Oh, I like that. Oh, yeah, just
like antagonize coaches. These people. Yeah,
hire up coaches from former teams who have a grudge, who have something that they're trying to. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Terry Stotts seems like a guy that's very easy to get along with, very popular in the league. So it'd just be They do that on Saturday Night Live too, where they'll bring in like an old writer for a week or two, just to have like another voice in the mix.
But is it one that has an axe to grind?
Oh well, so that usually the spite version of that is not.
They don't do the spite version. Okay,
but I mean, like you don't think Don Nelson would want to like come in for a week from Hawaii?
Oh man, that'd be amazing. Like, I feel like it should be either. I like the ex-coach idea, a fired coach, a scoring coach, or just like a franchise legend. Maybe just ex-players. Just get some ex-players. Maybe they've already rated the big 3 for actual players. Maybe start rating the big 3 from coaches.
Yeah,
like Nancy Lieberman, Nancy Lieberman in there.
I was thinking like Steven Jackson.
Oh yeah,
Gary Payton's already coaching
Charles
Oakley, a weird college in Oakland. Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can't ban him if he's coaching the other team, James Dolan.
That's the best idea we've had. Wow. Yeah. Let's look into this league. Not saying you should add more people into your COVID cesspool, but if you're going to, let's at least make it entertaining, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, Sean, thanks so much for stopping in. Always a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
Talking with you. Yeah, man. Look forward to the next time.
Thanks. All right. Bye.
All right. Thanks, buddy.
Hey, thanks. This was fun. Okay.
That was awesome.
Bye.
See you, man.
Bye.
Yo.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. What was lunch?
Oh, I haven't had it. Oh, the kids. I made The 4-year-old, and she got crackers and turkey and cheese and a banana strawberry smoothie. The 7-year-old got a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with the smoothie. That was
nice.
Yeah, that's good. All right, let's rock and roll.
Let's do it.
It's now time for the last drop. I'm joined by, that's right, our Lakers correspondent, Daman Rangoola. Daman, how's it going, buddy?
It's been a fun year, Keith. What's going on with you?
It's been a great year. A tremendous year. My Grizzlies defeated your Lakers on Wednesday night. LeBron played amazingly, but not as well as Ja Morant, and the Grizzlies get the win. Here's the one thing that I am not enjoying so far about the Lakers being bad this year. All right. Normally you would think I'm just enjoying the Lakers being bad. It's been tremendous fun. Tremendous fun. There's a couple things. One, they've lost 6 of 7, despite LeBron putting up some amazing statistics. They've lost 6 of 7. They have not dropped in the standings.
Hey, listen, it's been
it's not fair.
This entire season has been some combination of the most confusing, most depressing, most infuriating kind of season that I've had as a fan, because to tell you the truth, and this is great stuff coming from your Lakers correspondent.
Yeah.
I still don't know what the hell this Lakers team is. Like, I truly don't. It's like I would feel more comfortable and more comforted by the fact that if the Lakers just truly, truly sucked, and it's like there's nothing to look forward to, let's just wait for the season to end. But there is enough reason to still hold out hope for a run, and a single run right now. You could be hosting, these Lakers could still host a playoff round.
Well, I mean,
listen.
All right. No, that is literally
take, right.
It's literally possible. It's not unheard of for the Lakers to get it together.
Keith, it's been a rough year, and I needed that. So thank you.
And to catch up, they're 5 games back basically of the Grizzlies. So you can overcome that. The thing that bums me out. All right, again, I think on December 3rd, the Lakers were in 6th. They've lost 6 of 7. They're now in 7th, and they're not any further back than they were. No one is catching them. The other thing is kind of what you just said. No matter what the Lakers do this year, they're not falling out of the play-in.
Right.
They're not going to be 8 games under 500. Like they're going to be.
Okay.
They might?
Listen, there is a optimist take, but there's also a very plausible pessimist take that this goes the other direction. You just mentioned that LeBron James has been otherworldly.
Yeah.
He turns 37 today, right? And
wait, is it today?
Today.
Oh, happy birthday, LeBron.
I know, it's a big day.
I think we can sing happy birthday because they finally shot down that fraudulent copyright claim.
I mean,
it was not written by the people who said they'd written it. Anyway.
But he's been otherworldly, and they're still losing, right? So that would be also the Lakers have I think maybe the toughest or one of the toughest schedules for the rest of the season. They had kind of a easy schedule to start the year. And the optimist take is a lot of, well, when Anthony Davis gets back and when Trevor Ariza and Austin Reeves and these guys come out of protocol, people will slot into their spots better and the team will look better, et cetera, et cetera. But that's a lot of if and when, and this happens and that happens and that happens. That also is assuming that nothing further will happen to the current players that are healthy and available. So yes, I actually think there is a disaster scenario. I think the percentages are very low. I think it's safe to say that there's kind of a Lakers Twitter civil war burbling right now between the optimists and the pessimists, because both sides have validity. And as I mentioned to my confusion, I still don't know what camp I fall in, because when I watch these games, I'm so pissed off, like a lot of the times watching this team. Yeah. But then you realize, like last night, so the big shift that has taken too long for the Lakers is, look, you bring in Russell Westbrook. He's been in the league for enough time now where everybody knows what his pros are and his cons are. Like, it's very clear. one of the things that was very clear going back to when he was with Houston was that if you want to play Russell Westbrook, you basically have to have a fully spaced out kind of centerless lineup. The famous trade that they traded Clint Capella to kind of open up the season for them. The Lakers started DeAndre Jordan for like 25 games this season before they came to that realization. And we lost a lot of time for where Russell Westbrook, Anthony Davis, and LeBron James could have developed any sort of chemistry in a lineup that made sense for them. And then Anthony Davis goes down, and now they shift to that centerless sort of situation. And it has looked better and smoother at times. But at the same time, because of the roster currently, we were playing, and you watched this last night, this is also a coaching mistake. We were playing Carmelo Anthony at backup center. Guess what?
Yeah.
That didn't go well at all.
That was tremendous.
Right. And so it seems like the coaching staff either goes too far in one direction or the other. Like last night, going bigger against freaking Aquaman probably makes a little bit of sense, right?
Yeah.
And so they're probably gonna have to find that. And I think my frustration has been, and where I fall more on the pessimist side, is if it's taken them this long to come to that realization, when the playoffs start, or I mean, let's not even talk about the playoffs, when it's like when Anthony Davis is back, how are these guys really going to be on the top of their toes and be ready to make the adjustments necessary? I'm not sure. It's been a very frustrating and a very strange year.
It's been a strange year, but I think as an outsider, I fall, I guess, what would have to be in the optimistic side among those two camps you laid out. I think these are all positive things. Like, they're like Carmelo at the 5. Yeah, that's terrible, but it's shown a willingness to play a little bit smaller. So when Anthony Davis gets back, that's just going to help you. If your center minutes are basically, LeBron, Anthony Davis, and Dwight Howard, that's a huge win. And again, I don't think two of the Spurs, Kings, Trailblazers, Pelicans are not passing the Lakers. And that's not even count, or the Timberwolves. Like you need multiple, you need like 3 teams to pass you to fall out. Like you're making the play in. And the way I see it is eventually, and obviously an injury to AD again, or to LeBron, who turns 37 today, happy birthday, that could be the disaster thing. But as long as those guys return and AD returns, LeBron stays vaguely healthy, they're going to make the play in, and they have all year to figure out, hey, let's just play with whoever, like who knows who it's going to be. Like, hey, let's just play with Malik Monk and Wayne Ellington.
There's trades still to be made.
There's still trades to be made. There's
buyout.
a possible buy. Yeah. Like, like
Kendrick Nunn hasn't played yet. So,
Kenny Nunn.
Right. We gotta talk to Chuck about him. But so, I mean, that, when I came on, I think this was even before the season had started. And I mentioned to you that the team's going to have some 2012, 2013, this will be fun kind of parallels. And I mean, listen, there's a lot of parallels up till now on that team, including that year Kobe was otherworldly just to keep the team afloat. Yeah. And we kept waiting for it to click at the end of the year. And quite frankly, it did click. And Kobe got hurt, obviously, in the last game. And that was like, that changed his career forever. And obviously, we don't want that to happen to LeBron. But there's been a lot of parallels in that regard. It's kind of, it still frightens me. But at the same time, LeBron, Anthony Davis, like these guys are at that stage in their career are better than the top talent of that team. So, yeah, man. I don't know.
It took a career shooting performance from Ja Morant to overcome the Lakers' lead. They lose a close game. Could have gone either way. You got to keep your heads up, Lakers fans.
There's optimism. There's signs of optimism.
You played a top 4 team in the West on their home court on the second night of a back-to-back, down to the wire. Feel good.
By the way, how nice is it for you to be talking about the Memphis Grizzlies that way? It's been some time, man.
I love it. Your other Lakers correspondent, friend of the show, Harrison Fagan, his little blog keeps writing these. What an embarrassment every time you lose to the Grizzlies. Yeah. When will you learn it's not embarrassing to lose to a better team on their home court? That's expected. Listen, this is the other thing. Here's one more thing. We'll close with this. Another thing that made me angry about this Lakers loss, I was watching the live betting line basically the whole game. Yeah. Right? The game opened at Grizzlies favored by 6. I thought it was a little strong, but you were like, no, that's right. It's just right. It turns out it was just right. The Lakers covered, losing by 5. But I'm watching the live betting line. The Grizzlies are down by like 12. Like the line was like Lakers plus 0.5. Like the Grizzlies, Vegas only thought the Grizzlies were losing that game for like 10 actual minutes. It never, because I'm like, I'm going to live bet the Grizzlies. Maybe I'll get the Grizzlies like plus 400 to win or plus 200 to win. And I looked, the Grizzlies are down 14. And at that point, the line went to Lakers minus 1.5. Even at that point, it was like, I'm just saying, Lakers fans are upset. You blew the game. People are calling it an embarrassment. Vegas, at no point, basically, in that entire game, thought the Lakers were winning. There was just one brief stretch. They're like, okay, they might win, but we're still not giving you the odds worth betting it. I'm
sure they all bought Carmelo Anthony jerseys to celebrate. Those minutes with him at center really solidified it.
Yeah. Well, I am enjoying your team losing, obviously. And also the other thing, I was worried like this pick that's coming over to the Grizzlies from the Lakers. If it's top 10, it goes to the Pelicans. That's the one good thing about no one else winning. It seems impossible to get into the top 10 because every team's so bad. And the West, again, being over 500 might get you the 5 seed. So
let me for everybody listening, there's a lot of there's a lot of glee being taken with the Lakers' woes at the moment. Yeah. Listen, if this Lakers thing falls apart for the next few years, guess what happens? Old David Griffin and the Pelicans, that trade starts looking better. And we don't want that. Do you really want people celebrating David Griffin?
David Griffin's not going to be there. As long as David Griffin's there, I'll be fine with it. Yeah. It'll work out just fine. Anyway, Daman, appreciate you coming on. Appreciate you being a good sport. And we'll talk to you very soon.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks, buddy. You have a good.
It's seriously like the group DMs are having battles right now between the optimists and the pessimists, and this is gonna like boil over at some point.
You just gotta wait, like literally wait a month. Nothing's gonna happen in the next month.
Exactly.
That's gonna be like that big of a deal. It's just you guys are.
Exactly.
I mean, you honestly, you should not be playing LeBron very much.
That's my thing. I was like, what are we doing playing him? Like, well, he's Jason Kareem, so this is a nice time to
I guess those up. A little trade off, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, man. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, man. Appreciate it,
buddy.